Hello, welcome to the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, Rob, and it's a very exciting day. I'm glad to be back. Still trying to recover from my anemia, but very excited to talk about the release this week for the Horus Heresy. I've actually been spinning in absolute circles when it comes to the Horus Heresy. The Legion Imperialis book has got me literally spinning in circles. I'm so excited that I even started to build myself buggies for a Gene Stealer cult themed Horus Heresy army. I'm that enthused right now. I'm very excited. But if you want a reason to be enthused about the Horus Heresy this week, well, Games Workshop have got your back, because we have seen not only some boxes being announced, but also the prices of those boxes as well, which I think is very exciting. So the first thing going on pre-order in 2 weeks is going to be the Fellblade super heavy battle tank. Thank you to Legion of the Bland for throwing some prices out here. The Legion Fellblade in England will be £125 from Games Workshop, which means your local game stores or your LGSs obviously are going to be able to make them much cheaper, like 25% off. So this thing could be around £100, which is pretty cheap. I would also be interested to know if in the future, or if I actually read it for a moment, let's do that. The Fellblade is a massive and advanced battle tank designed specifically with the Legion of Astartes in mind, and is the linchpin of many armored assaults across the Horus Heresy. It's a massive double-barreled accelerator cannon. Let's go. It can put holes in hard targets from a standing distance, and the rest of the chassis is bristling with guns, from a hull-mounted demolisher cannon to arrays of defensive heavy bolters. I mean, a demolisher cannon in itself is just a weapon that you find on a single tank on its own. So that's pretty legit. I also really enjoy the little pocket flamers that we've got in here, as well as obviously our either quad bolters or quad las cannons that we can see on the side, which is great. It was previously available in Forge or resin and is now ready to rule the battlefield in new plastic kit. Each Fellblade comes with a choice of paired laser destroyers, Gravis heavy bolters, or las cannon arrays on sponsons, while the hull-mounted twin heavy bolters can be swapped for a heavy flamer, and there's a choice of pintle-mounted Havoc launcher, heavy flamer, or bolter. Now, in the Horus Heresy, again, if you're thinking of just jumping into Horus Heresy, or you're playing Horus Heresy, or you picked up the Saturn box and you're like, is this good addition? I'm going to say no. It's not a good addition, because like super heavies are quite warping in the fact that they take up so many points in your roster. They probably don't have the impact that you really want them to have in the missions in the Horus Heresy at the minute, which are a little bit weak source, and that's why this week or next week I'm going to be writing my own mission pack, because I'm going to start running events at the TSN Arena, which is where I hang out. The missions are a little bit weak source, therefore what we're going to see is this not really have much of an impact in missions, because scoring is done by line units or vanguard units. But it might be able to get you things like First Blood. It might be able to get you things like Monster Hunter, stuff like that. So it might be okay for destroying things. But that's if you want to play it in the game. Number two, thank you to Leith in the chat. Should I pick it up because it's cool as F? The answer is obviously yes, right? The answer is obviously yes. Absolutely no question. I especially love the giant battle cannon. I think it's great. And I'm really excited to paint this up in salamander colors. Very excited. Now, this has got me absolutely beside myself. And that's right. It's the Mark II Assault Squad on the way. Now, interesting, we'll talk about the rules for a moment very quickly. Vanguard units are in a really interesting state when it comes to Horus Heresy. These have got Vanguard. Have they got Vanguard 3? Vanguard 1? They've got Vanguard something. They've got Vanguard rule. And their ability to go and run onto objectives and then take them off your opponent. Now, unfortunately, while thematically that works really well, it doesn't actually work very much in reality. You can just use reaction points to just move off an objective, denying them the ability to even score what makes them good. So should you get them? The answer is overwhelmingly yes. I think the Mark II are the coolest of the assault marines. Obviously they've also got all the axes as well, which look amazing, and I think they look great in these Iron Warrior colors. So this is the veteran assault squad. Looks suitably venerable. Each kit contains 10 multi-part plastic assault marines with options for bolt pistols or combat shields in their left hands. Now the combat shield version is excellent, FYI, really good. It gives you an invuln save, and also gives you combat shields in left hands, 2 power mauls, 2 heavy chain axes, 2 sets of melter bombs, 2 disintegrator pistols, and an assortment of grenades, pouches, and other customizable parts. Watch What's very exciting, in my opinion, is the opportunity to also have the power mauls and heavy chain axes for kit bashing. So if you wanted to put a power maul on a Centurion or something, here's an opportunity to like get some while you're building your guys with whatever else. If you want to put a heavy chain axe somewhere else in your army, it really does feel like the customizable options that you get for the Horus Heresy, especially for Space Marines, are really being reinvigorated with all of the plastic kit releases. So that's super exciting to see. So it's a good kit, especially if you want a kit bash, and it could be very, very cool. But I personally think these are the most exciting release. These are way more exciting than Saturn to me. These are more exciting than anything. This is the best. Might even make me just rethink that painting them as salamanders and maybe repaint them as something else, use it as an allied detachment, because I think they are absolutely just the best sculpts that we've seen. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments below. I think the chat are pretty excited about it. You'll have to know. And also, recently in my games, I've been using a lot of jump pack infantry. I've been using Ursarax for Mechanicum, and I found them to be so good. So effective. They've been really nimble. They've been able to get into places. They've been able to lock stuff down. I found them to be really excellent. So, multiple units of these I think is interesting. The different loadouts I think is fun as well. Optimized, not optimizing it, thematically building it the way you wanted to build it. That's super exciting. So yeah, I'm very pumped about that. So then we're also going to see the Journal Tactica, the Forges of Saturn, is also on the horizon, and this is very exciting. I'll try and get a review done towards the end of this week, which I'm very pumped about. So this is going to be describing both where the Saturnine Terminator really came from. So the first portion of this book is a story describing how it got created by the big daddy of the salamanders themselves. So Vulcan, and also how he was out there with Magnus, and Magnus also got themselves a Saturnite Terminator armor as well. In fact, all of the legions get themselves Saturnine Terminator armor. It then goes on to describe a story of a brutal part of the Istvan campaign where the Saturnine Terminators were taking part, led by Vulcan, in an assault, which is very cool with some maps. There's also another story where we've got some Iron Warriors, Iron Hands, who knows and cares, assault a Forge world, and then eventually a word bearers group of Saturnine Terminators like rip them to pieces. And that's what's cool. Inside the book, we also get the command squad. Oh, I actually should say, inside the book contains rules for 3 new units. We got equipping Centurions and command squads in Saturnine armor, and giving word bearers a unique demon-infused Terminator unit, which is going to be the Saturnine Terminators. So now you've got word bearer Saturnine Terminators, which is excellent and very exciting, and a new Prospering Arcana for 1,000 Suns. Now that's very exciting in my opinion, because I think what we're looking forward to is 1,000 Suns maybe getting a unique weapon profile for the Saturnine Terminators, or at least using those psychic powers to be able to make it so the Saturnine Terminators work exclusively better in 1,000 Suns. So if you're a 1,000 Suns fan, you are eating like a champ. It also includes new legendary mission depicting Salamander's assault on Death Guard fortified positions, showing Dropside Massacre, and 3 new asymmetric onslaught missions. Okay, now those are quite interesting as well, because while I think the current missions from the core book are a little bit of a miss, I'm excited to see how those missions work and play, and whether or not those things are more interesting. But asymmetrical normally means one army has got more resources than the other army. It's more meant to tell a story, but that can be very, very fun. Like, set the terrain up, build this. It's very cool. I'm looking forward to this, because this will be our second Arcane Journal, or Journal Tactica for the Horus Heresy. And I'm kind of excited for this one to be gone, because it was announced so early, and I really want to know where they're going to take the next few, because I think, well, let me know what you think, but I think Imperialis Militia was a bit of a hit. I think Demons of the Runestorm was a bit of a mid, but free release, which is exciting. So I'm looking forward to this as well. Also, more kit bashing on Saturnine Terminators. Yes, please. I think that's very fun. Oh, I think there's also a couple new detachments as well, some OGS detachments. One specifically I think is very exciting, is one with the ability to take Terminators and also a Dreadnought in an Apex detachment. Sorry, I said auxiliary detachment. An Apex detachment which lets you take Terminators and also a Dreadnought. if you've tried to build any Horus Heresy list, it's pretty tough to get multiple dreadnoughts in your list. So at least a Apex detachment, which gives you the Saturn and also the Saturn dreadnought all in one detachment, is sick, especially if you're a new player. That's a very cool detachment that you can build into, which I think is fun. And they've also now released the Legion Astartes combat forces. And let me tell you, let's quickly jump back to the price list, because this is crazy in my opinion. These are £105 each. This is direct from Games Workshop. So when you're picking these up from your local gaming store, these are going to be, what, 85? These are going to be the same as like the 40k boxes. £82.50 if you're picking them up. If you're in England, obviously if you're in the US or if you're anyone else. But that feels like that's pretty cheap. Also, the General Tactica, the Forged Saturn, is only £17 RRP from Games Workshop. So you're looking at like a £14, £15 book. That's pretty vibes, I'm going to say. Anyway, so what do we get? You get the Legion Astartes Combat Force, Rhino. Shout out to all my Rhino fans in the chat. Very exciting. So what do you get? You get a Leviathan Dreadnought equipped with ranged weapons package, giving you a choice between any two of Cyclonic Metal Lance, Graflux Bombard, Storm Cannon, and a Rhino transport vehicle. You also get 20 Space Marines in Mark 6 power armor and a heavy weapons upgrade set, including 20 missile launchers, 10 heavy bolters, letting you build each group as either 10 tactical squad or a heavy support squad. The box is rounded out with Legion Astartes decal sheet, etc., etc. If you wanted to jump into the Horus Heresy right now, this is an amazing box, in my opinion. This is great. Buying two of these, maybe, like, is a question mark. Like, you wouldn't necessarily run the Dreadnoughts all the time, but the Marines, it's a great pickup, in my opinion. And for £82.50, it feels like that's a really good bargain. You're getting like a mini upgrade set. You're getting 20 Marines, a vehicle. This is good. Because I think the future of the Horus Heresy, at least for beginners or new people, is going to be little small skirmish games like 500 to 1,000 points as people build up. Now, if you're already someone who's watching this video or is, you know, in the chat, and you're like, yeah, Rob, I have 9,000 points of word bearers, you're like, that's great. Like, you're the GOAT. Well done. You're the best. But lots of people, and you want lots of new people to join into the hobby. It's a very fair thing to want. You need to give them stages to build into. And having a box that you can just buy and be like, right, cool, I'm playing the Heresy now. How's this going to play? It's pretty legit, in my opinion. Rhinos are a boring choice, but actually, once you start to play the game, Rhinos are gods. Absolute gods. Just rush forward, dump a bunch of line 3, line 2 guys on an objective. They're so good. They're so good. They're so boring, but so good. So it's excellent. Mechanicus Combat Force for my Mechanicus fans. So let's see what you get. You get a unit of 6 Thalax cohort, which are amazing. And you can equip them with a bunch of different weapons. You can get a Castellex Battle Automata, and then you can obviously pick up the Thanatar as well. This one is probably, of the 3, the weakest. The Thalax themselves are actually great. If you really want to cause your opponent an issue, or if you just want to be a knob at the local club, just a load of Thalax are amazing. Multi-melters, because they can deep strike. Photon thrusters, which are great. They're jump infantry, so they're are they jump infantry? Whatever, they're very fast, which is good. The actual Castellex are kind of okay. They're just big tanks. They're just big beat sticks that get beat up. I would probably try to build myself more of the bolter versions and the circular blades than the clamps, personally. And then the Thanatar. Oh, no. Okay. Maybe the worst of the 3. Thanatar is just weak sauce at the moment in Horus Heresy, but an amazing model. Amazing model. So eventually when you put this together, price from Games Workshop if you got these pieces separately. If you wanted the Marine box, it would cost you £166.50. So this box, but it's priced at 125. No, 105. So the Marine box, before you get started, is a £60 saving. The Mechanicum one is 158. So this is a £50 saving. And the Solar Auxilia one is £150. Let's talk about that now. £150. But again, this box is only £105. So again, this is a £45 saving. So you're getting like This is great. Very, very cheap. Crazy cheap. So Solar Auxiliary Combat Force has got people very excited about adding the Solar Augs into their army, whether or not you're doing good guys or bad guys. You get a Lima Russ tank, you get a Sentinel, you get an Armored Sentinel, you get 2 Sentinels. Super Space Marines, you get 20 Las Rifle section alongside Tactical Command section of 5 miniatures. You also get, hold on. 2 Hermes Sentinels can be assembled as either light or Velataris variants with a multi-laser or grenade launcher, the former for the former, and heavy flame or Volkite Cavalier for the latter, with a Solar Auxiliary Lima Russ provided heavy armor support with a choice of battle cannon, twinned heavy las cannons, or auto cannons. I wonder if my Solar Auxiliary stand in the chat can let me know which is the best choice. Or a long-barreled Vanquisher battle cannon with coaxial auto cannon as well is available. So these are absolute crazy bargains. If you're thinking about getting to the Horus Heresy, crazy bargain. Like, crazy. You know, especially to come from Games Workshop, which is a classic SDS move at this point, in my opinion. You know, effectively £50 off every box, and that's before you go to your local gaming store. And please do support your local gaming store by going to them and not a GW directly, where they can normally add an extra 20-25% off. So you're going to be looking at about 80 quid for a ton of minis, like an absolute ton of minis, and they're buyable in multiple times. The Solar Auxiliary Combat Force you can buy like 4 times, and you've just started to scratch an army. The Admech one, unfortunately, the Thanatar is not something you're going to buy multiple times, but you can buy a couple of boxes of those. And the Marine one, again, because of the Dreadnought, you can buy a couple of times, but you can't buy any more than that unless one of your mates just wants to buy a Dreadnought off you. Like, I mean, if one of your mates wants to buy a Dreadnought off you for 30 quid, you've made your money back, which is pretty good. Is this plus the launch box any good? That's a great question. So the Saturn launch box is great in that you get 40 Marines, which is really, really cool. And it's one of the key features of what you need if you are going to play with a Marine army. The Saturnines are kind of like they're like a toy. They're like the Fellblade that you can buy from earlier. They're a fun add-on that you can take, although maybe the new command squads are actually pretty spicy for beating stuff up. But definitely this is a good additional box, specifically because of the Rhino. You probably need to go out and buy some Rhinos anyway. So buying this box, which has got the Rhino basically for free and some dudes, or if you want, you're buying the Rhino and you're getting the Dreadnought for free, feels like a pretty good deal. You can print Rhinos from FDM real easy, though, so maybe you don't want to. But I would say that if you're planning on buying versus printing anything, this is a pretty good box. Pretty good box. The Admech one, obviously, off the back of the Saturnine one is interesting. You can bring this in as an allied detachment. And the Thalax are really good. The Thalax are really good. And then the Solar Auxilia, again, if you want to bring this in as an allied detachment, these are pretty spicy. They're fun. They just get in the way. There's a bunch of nerds. It'll cost you like 5 points to field this whole army. It's so cheap, which is pretty good. So yeah, pretty good. Very excited. For me, the big win this week is the Mark II Assault Squad, and also the book. I'm very, very excited about the book. But for encouraging new people into our hobby and new people to be excited about playing Horus Heresy, the Combat Force boxes are super exciting and incredibly priced as well. So it's actually a good time to be a Horus Heresy fan. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching my video, and there'll be loads more videos coming out from me soon this week. Sorry they've been a bit slow, but get ready. You're going to see a lot.